I don't know. It gets to the point where this is kind of a soft war, and it's simmering. And when there's blood on the line and my family on the line, I just don't care anymore. It's just, it gets to the point where, and maybe I should have got there sooner. I don't know, but this is, growing up when I did, this is how I reacted to it. I don't know if you want to speak on that, Charlie.
Yeah. So I went to USC in LA for college from 90 to 95. So I was there, it was just a different world. I mean, the only thing that we didn't have the social justice warriors and safe spaces and all that dog shit. We just had riots. we had the Rodney King riots while I was there. So that's about the most interesting thing. But I was talking to Sam about this, about how, like, when you go out and do comedy, I said, can you even go to colleges and do he's like, no way. Are you kidding? He's like, no way. But that used to be the sweet spot for comedy.
Yeah, right. You think it would,
Oh, it would be great. You have a great audience, you have the right demographic. I remember at USC, they would bring in bands that would play on campus, and they would bring in comedians and all that stuff. And so I asked Sam about that, and he said, there is no possible way I would ever play a college, because he said all it takes is one person to be offended, and they're
it's a problem. A big problem.
It's a big problem. And that's not doing anybody any good. I mean, they're not protecting. I don't know what they think they're accomplishing by, like, oh, I'm sensitive and I'm offended by, you know what you can do if you're offended? You can leave. You can turn off the channel. You can turn off the YouTube video or the podcast or whatever. There's plenty of things that you can do if you're offended.
You can laugh too. That's
or you can laugh. Exactly. You can be like, well, this guy, I don't have anything in common with him, but he's fun. So, like, it's turned into a real crazy time. And like I said, the self-censorship is the most devious component of it. And I'm not proud to say that I'm self-censoring, because it's the worst thing you can do. But I am also now aware of what is going on social media platforms, where they are looking for excuses to kick people like me off. And Facebook, I've been in Facebook jail plenty of times, and the Twitter thing. And so I now realize that, and I've had videos taken off of YouTube for mentioning.
John was actually saying today he just did a live stream for the first time. I didn't listen to very much of it because I was getting ready for our interview, but he was saying that if you mention 5G at all now, YouTube is taking that video down and flagging you and all that.
Yeah,
just to put another hammer on that point. I had another YouTube account. And my first YouTube account, I was making like World War II videos because I find it really interesting, the history of that time period.
I want to see your stuff because I'm way into World War II videos, by the way.
Yeah, I would love to send you it. They're not on the internet anymore because they got taken down for hate speech. My first channel got terminated, and it was really weird timing too. It could be a complete coincidence, but it was right after I went into Canada. So I don't know if that's like
interesting.
Yeah, something happened because he's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I'm a YouTuber and I'm meeting up with somebody or whatever." So I don't know if he looked me up or if he was just bored and it was 2 p.m. in the afternoon and he was just giving this American guy a little bit of harder time than he needed to. But either way, I flagging and terminating YouTube accounts for hate speech, and it's not just me too. Other history channels documentary channels too are getting flagged for just reporting what has actually happened in the past.
It's crazy. Yeah, and that is a product of the Atlantic Council and the Poynter Institute and the German Marshall Fund, all these non-government organizations and think tanks that are then leaning on Facebooks and Twitter and YouTube and telling them, you got to get rid of all this content here. And so it's coming from above them. It's coming from above social media. They're given the directives. You've got guys like David Brock, who's a bundler for Hillary Clinton, who is talking about how, he's being very upfront in his organization, Media Matters, and he's put out a letter to his investors, and he's saying, this is what we've done. We've got Facebook, and we've got Google, and we've got Twitter, they've already signed on board. So we've got this to get rid of, to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't have another run in 2020. They've already agreed to do, and you're like reading this letter. I mean, I've got the letter. It's like 24 pages long. And it's like, this is not meant for the public to see, but it explains what they're doing. And it is that we have gone to these organizations and we have leveraged our influence to get them to silence all of these people. We've told them what we want. And then you have Zach Voorhees coming out, of former Google employee, who's saying, he was working there saying, I found the blacklist. I found the list of all the terms that are blacklisted. If you mention any of these things in YouTube videos, they don't show up anymore for people. So
yeah, I've noticed such a change in YouTube from, I didn't start posting. Well, I posted a few videos when I was a kid, but I never, stayed committed to it consistently until recently. But I've always been a consumer of YouTube since that time period. And yeah, you just notice like it's just looking more and more like cable or dish. Like when you press the guide button, it's like, dude, this is why I go to YouTube, is to not go, to see this. It's becoming more and more corporatized because of that. And like there are videos on YouTube that I can only go to because I've gone to them in the past and I know the exact title or I have the link. Because if you literally, I'll type in the exact title and I have to scroll down and it's exactly the same title, you know, and it's like, so you have to see like 4 or 5 or 6 other videos of, I don't know, a sponsor or whatever is being pushed until you get to your favorite video that you used to watch all the time or whatever. And it's scary.
And David Icke is now on the warpath and has been for a while, but he's just gone. He's just going after YouTube, and I love it because my show Macroaggressions is on David Icke's platform, Iconic, and yesterday all of our videos were taken down by Vimeo. Vimeo is the hoster that hosts all the videos for Iconic, and yesterday Vimeo was put under pressure by the UK government to get rid of all of Iconic videos. So all my first 4 episodes of my show, they're all down. Right now, they're currently working to get all those videos for all of the different shows that are on Iconic back up.
And so Iconic is David Icke's media platform that he runs via Vimeo. But all your episodes on YouTube, they're still there?
For now. Yeah, for now they are. And the podcast itself, the Macroaggressions podcast, is out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and iHeartRadio and a bunch of places there. The audio only version, but the video version is on Iconic and also now on YouTube. So the YouTube's up, but Iconic is down. And that's David Icke and Jamie Icke and Gareth Icke, his 2 sons. That's their platform that they put together. And there's some really good shows on there, really fascinating stuff. It costs like $10 a month to be a subscriber there, but you get really good content. So it's a shame. Awesome. And they went after it. They went after Iconic because they thought that he had put that London Real interview up on Iconic, which in fact he actually didn't. But so they're just
Brian Rose did, or
David Icke didn't put it up on Iconic. Okay. They thought he did. But it's been fascinating to watch. So I watched the first London Real interview with David Icke that came out 3 weeks ago that got 8 million views. And then this other one, I was one of the 65,000 people that was watching it live. And I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched as much of it as I could. And then it gets taken down. Well, when you're talking about these sorts of topics that Brian and David were talking about in this show, and then YouTube kills it off of their platform after the live stream ends, and then the government freaks out about it, it has the exact opposite effect from what they're trying to do. All it does is make people want to go watch this video and go find it, which is
scarcity principle.
You got it. It's the Streisand effect. When Barbara Streisand was complaining about all the people on her beach in Malibu, then everyone said, first of all, they said, screw you, Barbara Streisand. And second of all, they said, let's go to Barbara Streisand's beach, so it has the exact opposite effect. So if you want to draw, they did the same thing when the TED Talk with Graham Hancock, his War on Consciousness TED Talk, he did that. They put it up, they took it down immediately and banned it. And then all that did was create an underground market for it. And now people have seen it 10 million plus times. So they don't learn.
Wow.
They're going to make David Icke famous. He was on the cover of I don't know, the Daily Mail, one of the Telegraph, one of the newspapers yesterday in the UK.
It's probably safe to say he is famous. Yeah. I mean, famous. Yeah.
Yeah. He's famous. Well, he's famous in certain circles. I mean,
yeah.
And infamous in others. But it's funny because the people that are out to get him and the people that have a real problem with his work don't know his work.